And we're recording.
Yeah. Welcome to Quantum Coffee.
Welcome.
Do I look at you or do I look at you?
I don't know.
All right.
Where should we look?
We'll figure that out.
Well, I did notice that on the last video, if I could look at you, then you can see my double chin, and I don't like it. So we have to sit this way. We're going to pretend like we're newscasters.
I like that. Oh my God.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, starting over. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Welcome to the evening news with Quantum Coffee.
Just kidding. It's not evening. It's morning. But, you know, look.
But I feel like the evening newscasters made more money.
That's true.
Anyway.
Oh,
yeah, but we're Quantum Coffee, so we have to pretend it's morning, don't we?
Yeah, it really is morning. We're not pretending.
Right.
She's crazy. Anyways, so we decided that we should probably tell everybody why we're doing Quantum Coffee.
Yes, and who we are. So
that might be important.
Yes.
Just like two random strange ladies, like, why should we listen to them?
Right. I mean, we do think we're probably the coolest people on the planet, but that won't make you listen to us just because we think that.
That's valid.
So I'm Stephanie Michelle. I am the author of Chakras and Shadow Work, and I have a second book coming out. And I've been a Reiki master, an interfaith minister, and an educator for over 30 years, with lots of experience in energy work and quantum consciousness.
So I'm Dr. Nicole. I have a PhD in IO psychology, and I know you're like, what is that? I'm not your therapist. So do not call and ask me to diagnose you or medicate you, because that's not happening. What I focus on is the psychology behind teams and leaders and understanding how businesses can run more efficiently. So I've spent my entire career training and working in HR, everybody's favorite position. I promise I'm not the devil. I can write policies, but that is not that's not where I thrive. So I just go in and diagnose what is wrong with the company and how we can fix it. And that's what we got.
And so we came together. We met one night in a magical moment.
It's not like that.
And
that's probably really weird. That's not what happened.
That's more of weirdness. So we just came together and we hit it off, and we had great conversations, and we see the world the same but through different lenses. And so we decided, because we both think this work is really important, and that introspection and looking in the mirror and understanding what's going on with your own internal world really helps the external world. And so we wanted to not just have those conversations among ourselves. We want to bring it to you guys, and we want to have those conversations out loud so that people can have those amazing aha moments, and they can stop looking through the lens in this tunnel vision, woe is me, everything's got to go this way, black and white kind of thinking.
True. We had a conversation the other day. We went actually to a coffee shop when we were planning this out. And one of the things that we brought up that we kept talking about was that a lot of people start to just kind of go along with the herd in their thinking, right? And we see this in business, in, personal relationships, in social media especially, where people get really comfortable behind a keyboard and just going along with what everyone else thinks instead of thinking for themselves. And the goal of this that we kind of determined together on accident was that we want people to be able to see that, two individuals can come together and have a conversation. And maybe Stephanie's perspective is completely different from mine, but I'm going to give her the space so that I can hear her side of it, right? And then vice versa. I'm going to give her my side of it too. And maybe because of that, it opens our eyes up a little bit more. But what it's showing everyone else is that you're allowed to think for yourself. We need people to start thinking for themselves. Like, stop thinking that, don't be a robot. You're so scared about AI. Like, let's not be robots. So use your own brain.
Right.
Create new things.
Right. And in the using your own brain, creating new things is really getting out of the loop. Stop regurgitating everything that you've already thought. Stop regurgitating things that what we've lost as a society is innovation and creativity. And you may be thinking, well, what? We have AI, we have computers. But I'm talking about in the personal space, in the relationship space, in the connection space. We've lost that ability. And that's what I think we both want to bring back. But we have to be able to get ourselves out of the loop, the matrix, the automatic kind of programming. And it's really funny because I was watching a video this morning about how the brain actually is, and you might have the science words for this. This is where I hear the science words, I let them soak in, and then I cannot remember them.
She remembers all the fun stuff, though.
I do. I remember all the fun stuff. So the brain is programmable, and the brain it's like AI. Mm-hmm. It learns from what you're telling it. And if you're telling it the same story over and over and over again, it starts to look for that story. It starts to
creates a false reality.
Story. Right.
Yes.
Well, it's not even false because first it's false.
Right.
Then it becomes real.
Right.
And so you have to, I had this great conversation last night in my class, but you have to intentionally hold on to different stories, intentionally feed your brain different stories. And there's we talked about the mirror neurons last time and the reticular activating system. I mean, these are things that people really need to know and understand so that they can know and understand that just because you had an experience once does not mean you have to repeat and relive that experience. You
Correct.
can completely change everything.
Yep.
And I think that is a huge part of what we're going to in this podcast. There's so many topics that we've already discussed, not at length, but discussed about having a discussion on.
We discussed about our discussions. We're those people.
We've created an outline.
We've got plans. That's what that means.
Yeah.
The interpretation is we have a lot of plans and
topics.
Yeah, and topics and looking at different perspectives and being able to kind of deep dive into that and how it relates, both from an energy perspective and from a psychological perspective. But even more so, like when you bring all of that together, it's your personal relationships, it's work relationships, it's your family life, all of those things. This gets compounded into it. And so we really feel that this is going to be beneficial to a very large audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So the perspective that I bring, I know we talked about our background, but I want to explain a little bit more in depth on how I see the world, and then Nicole can shed light on how she sees the world and why it meshes together. So for me, language is not as easy, right? And so she's got the language piece. She's got the books and the reading, and she can actually interpret where I come in and I say, this is what I'm seeing energetically. This is the vibration. So everything she just said as she was talking, what I was seeing is these individual balls of light. And when we recode ourselves, when we put that energy back into place, through body work, through mind work, through soul work, we actually expand energetically and our frequencies grow and vibrate. And visually I see us, which is another reason why I really want to do this podcast, because I do think it's bringing worlds together and allowing multiple levels of people to understand in a deeper way what's actually happening. And so I visually see like these little balls of energy where we're right now in a state of fragmentation and disconnection from our own energy systems.
Right.
That I think these conversations, because I feel it and I see it, will bring people back into alignment with themselves and then allow them to expand.
Okay.
And what I think that you do so beautifully is take what I have, and when I see these like visuals and you're able to put them into like words where I'm like, and I see purple and I see red and I see green. And then she goes, and so what she's saying is,
watch this. So what she's actually saying is when we get stuck in cycles, basically your neural pathways are blocked, right? And when we, like, for example, we look at a situation and we remember it negatively, right? And we keep replaying that over and over again. And it was this bad moment, this bad moment. If we just stop for a second and say, okay, what was bad about it? Why was it bad, right? Reframe your thought process and like, okay, what lesson did you actually take away from it? So what this does is it breaks that neural pathway and it causes you to learn. When you learn, it creates new, think of it as like little roads in there, right? And it creates a new neural pathway. So it reframes that memory into, yeah, that sucked, but I didn't die, right? Like my life isn't over. Like this is what I learned from it. And next time, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So her colorful energies, that is what your brain is actually doing, is just creating new roadways and new memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just such a beautiful balance because, and I'm sure, I know that you've seen this in the world as well, where there's people in my world, in the metaphysical world, in the spiritual world, who lean too much into the spirituality and the metaphysics, and they become dependent on that.
Correct.
And that is,
I feel like that's what freaks a lot of people out from that side of things. Like the people that are so extreme that don't kind of put reality into play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's where I'm going, right? And so I have had clients who lean so far into the spirituality and the metaphysical world that they actually break. They have a psychotic episode. And that is really common among people in my field, or, you know, people seeking help from people like me.
Okay.
It's not an overabundance, but it's definitely more than it should be.
Right.
And I've never ever seen spirituality and science as separate. I have always seen them as the same thing, but I've always had the language that aligns with, you know, Kundalini and Akashic records and past life regressions and all of that stuff, and, you know, remote viewing. But I can also understand scientifically what the energy is doing.
Right.
And I know that people need to kind of get back into the middle. Right. Yep. So we have this pendulum that's swinging really far to the spirituality and the science, and they're missing that the languages actually coincide. I saw another video.
So we got to mesh the worlds.
Yeah, we have to mesh the worlds. And I think that you and I have that ability. I think that
we're taking over the world. This is my life dream.
We're taking over the world 100%.
Everybody that actually knows me, I've been saying that since I was like 10. What do you want to do, Nicole? I want to take over the world.
Are you a Pinky in the Brain fan? Is this a Pinky in the Brain
thing? No, it wasn't a Pinky in the Brain thing. And everybody references that. And I'm like, no, not in like a, like, I'm going to take over the world and like blow it up kind of thing.
So mine
was like, no, like I can't. I'm the weirdo that I couldn't pick one thing, right? Like I didn't know what it was that I was going to be or what I wanted to do. And it just kind of like, the universe took me along a path, right? And here I am. And what I'm good at, I didn't see that one coming. It just kind of naturally occurred. Right. And I think that was probably like the greatest lesson I learned, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, how did we get here?
So how did we get here? In your perspective, in your expansion of zooming out, I call it zooming out. If you zoom out and from the journey, do you know how you got here? Just in a simple sentence, if you were to say one thing.
Taking the time to actually look at all of my life lessons, good, bad, ugly, all of the things, and just taking all of those pieces and being able to incorporate that into my daily work and my daily life and resonating with other humans, making myself an actual human, has been, I mean, there's no secret to what I do. I just make people feel seen.
There is no secret, but it's still really hard for people to do.
Right.
And that's why I asked the question, because to me, what you're saying you did was you allowed life to happen.
Yeah.
Right? You allowed whatever the next step to happen, you allowed it. And you gave yourself permission to keep moving forward and do things. To do the things.
I do the things.
For me, there was a lot of resistance. So that's another reason why I think we're so fucking good at this, is because we wound up in the same place
at the same time
doing things completely different, right?
Right.
For me, there was a lot of resistance to my superpower, to my natural gifts, and I didn't want to do it. And so it took me much longer than it should have to arrive at this place. But at the same time, I arrived.
Right.
And if I had done it before or later, it wouldn't have worked. And I might not have arrived with you. So I think that for people to understand that, I used to say this in my psychic readings. This is what I'm getting at, is people are, but isn't it destiny or something like that?
Right.
And I always say, you have fixed destinations. There are certain smatterings of pillars, right? There's pillars that you're going to hit. Now, how you hit them and when you hit them and how you get there, that there's still a thing called free will. So you get to choose how you're going to hit that pillar.
Correct.
And when you're going to hit that pillar.
My brain just saw her driving on a road trip, like it was a road trip, and there's all these pit stops that she like put into her GPS, and she's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling like doing that one today. I'm going to go over here. But eventually she's going to hit all the stops, right? It's just the order in which she hits them. Am I tracking?
Oh, you're totally tracking. And so that's something I would really like people to understand, because especially when they come to me for a reading, they think it's set in stone and this is what's going to happen. But
like, what day am I going to get married? What day am I going to have a kid? When am I going to die? How am I going to die?
Right.
Like all of those things. Is that?
Absolutely. But the second they actually come to a reading and have that information presented to them,
That would be terrible.
It changes.
That would be terrible.
It changes.
Wasn't there a movie that, like, if you know all of these things, like you screw up like the timeline?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So what people don't understand, again, yes, there's certain things you're going to hit. But if I tell you you're going to hit it in October, it doesn't mean you're going to hit it in October of 2026.
Back to the Future. It wasn't that one.
Yeah.
There was another one. Same, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All of those, because the second I give you that information, you now have opened up a new neural pathway.
You're going to try and prevent it.
Or lean into it, depending on what it is. Now you're still, whatever it is, bad, good, or indifferent, you're going to try and control it, as opposed to just allowing life to happen.
So in a practical sense, hypothetically, if I was to come to you and say, okay, Stephanie, when am I going to get married? Well, let's start here. Am I going to get married again? And you say, yes, absolutely.
Right.
And I go, okay, when am I going to get married? And you say 2028. And I go, I leave and I go, well, shit, if I'm getting married in 2 years, I should probably find a husband.
Right.
Right. So now I'm screwing it up. Now I'm forcing something. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to. Then I'm going to come back in 2028 and go, you were wrong.
Right. So I never give people a date, no matter how much they want. And when? And that is a point of contention that I fight with my clients, because the when depends on the decisions you make.
Correct.
That is a fixed point that, yes, you have this next relationship that is going to be a committed, tied together, deep relationship. But when you get there depends on the work that you do now
and the choices
that you make. And when I say things are going to happen in October, what I'm really saying is things are going to happen.
I don't know what's happening.
Because the when the moon is a song. Okay. And okay. Whew, focusing. Wow. Because that's the reality of it. Because there's certain aspects of the energies of the planets and everything that's moving in this soup we call energy, you know, right? And planetary, we're co-creators, which is another reason why this is, I know. Now I'm expanding out way too much.
I'm dead. Okay, keep going.
But this is the expansion that I think you and I will be able to hit eventually in greater detail and more pinpointing it. But so going back, when I say something's going to happen in October, what I'm really saying is when that season arrives.
Right.
So there is a certain, for me, July always has a certain kind of ick to it.
That's rude. That's my birthday.
I know. And I love a lot of people who are born in July, and it has nothing to do with the birthdays. It has to do with the stars and the alignment.
Did you see that? She almost threw up.
No, because it's the alignment of energy that hits my body that creates dis-ease in my body. Okay. It creates uneasiness. And so I don't act on my best behaviors. I'm most impulsive in July. I do the most impulsive things in July. So then if I were to go to a psychic and say, you know, when am I going to do this? And it happens to be one of those sparks of impulsivity, most likely I'll be doing it in July. Will I be doing it in July of 2026, 2027, 2028? Who the fuck knows? Because it depends on the growth that I make, the changes that I make, the introspection. But it's going to happen during that window when those energies hit my body and spark impulsivity.
Okay. So what you're saying is, like, if you were to give somebody October, that doesn't necessarily mean like October of 2026. So if you say, Nicole, your life's going to, you know, something is going to shift in your personal life in October.
Right.
And October.
Right.
Somewhere. Yep. Right. Like based on my decisions. If I like get my shit together and do something right now, like maybe it's in however many months. Right.
Right.
Or maybe it's next year, October. Right.
Right. Okay. You always have windows of opportunity. And then so you'll probably watch astrologers or psychics, and they'll say, like, if you've done the work as a Capricorn at this time, you're going to be able to get to this level. Oh, and that's really true, because what they're saying is there's an energy source that is about to enter into this dome that we live in. And you have an opportunity here. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to take the opportunity. It doesn't mean you've done the work to do it. You could just sit on your couch and be like, I'm not listening, you know, and then nothing will happen. And then you'll look at the astrologers and go, you were wrong. This wasn't my year. And they're going to go, did you fucking get up?
Did you do the work?
Yeah.
So just like with everything else in the world, you got to do the work.
Exactly. You have to do the work.
Okay. So like, it's not just going to like drop out of the sky and like magically like, poof.
No. And here's another, you know, saying or pop culture thing that we hear a lot where, you know, this guy was drowning and he's praying to God, come save me. And then a helicopter comes and he's like, no, God's going to come. And then a boat comes and he's like, no, God's going to come. And then the guy winds up drowning and he goes to God and he's like, where were you? And God's like, well, I sent you a boat and a helicopter, you fucking idiot.
You didn't.
You didn't take
You sat there and waited. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm busy.
Right. And so that opportunity is the same across the board.
Okay.
It's the same in spirituality. It's the same in metaphysics. It's the same in psychology. Mm-hmm. We always have opportunities, but we have to expand and open ourselves up to see the opportunity, to take the opportunity. I have no idea how we got on this topic.
I feel like this is what happens. This is what happens.
I feel like sometimes I just take over. So I do apologize.
So what happens when you put two control freaks in one podcast?
But I want you to be in control.
I'm in control all the time. See, now it sounds like we're married. Okay, so
I totally just was like, I feel like a girl.
Okay, and we got there. So
it just came in all of a sudden. All right. Drinking coffee. Quantum coffee. I don't know.
So this is what's going to happen. We're just going to spiral into weird things. But, you know, to kind of close out this episode of like how we met and how we aligned and just taking the opportunity. You see, I'm going to segue that back in there. Okay. So as a disclaimer, we live in a massive city. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've never met before. We have no mutual friends. And on a whim, both of us decided to go to a networking event that was downtown, not near either of our houses. And just showed up at this event, and immediately we were like, I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Similar to like the first episode of like, hey, I like your shoes. I was actually wearing shiny shoes that day. And we just kind of clicked. And from there, we just kept talking and, hey, like, how can we, work together? And that was like us meeting up. She needed help with her business. I gave her a solution. She was like, damn, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we were chit-chatting some more, and she was like, yo, we should do a podcast. And ta-da, here we are. So when you look at taking opportunities, that wasn't on my bingo card for this year. I went to that networking event because I was like, I should probably make like adult friends that are not affiliated, with my children or where I live, professional relationships, things like that. And that was the reason that I went there, is to put myself out there and do scary things. No intention, I guess, whatsoever of like, hey, I'm going to go find myself a new bestie. But I was hoping for like business networking, but I got something even better.
Right.
So
and I just kind of fangirled over her, and I was like, okay, you're going to be my friend now.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She actually just put me in her phone that first night. She was like, I'm going to call you Nicole Big Brain.
Yep.
And so there we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, we're doing
so
this.
That happened.
We're doing this.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of like our backstory on how we got to where we are. But it was two people that, typically don't take those opportunities.
Right.
That both just decided this year, like, I'm going to do scary shit that I've never done before. I'm going to start saying yes to things that I would normally be like, I don't think I belong in that room.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. And we're just going to grow, and we're going to have set topics and then probably not talk about those things.
That's true. But we'll like circle around them. We'll do like a little dance around them, and we'll come back and give you different insight. And as we keep going, any topics anybody else wants to discuss?
Oh yeah, please do the whole, like, comment, share bullshit. I mean, really good stuff. And for real, comment, because I do think eventually we want to have that dialogue and hear your comments and comment on the comments and have conversations about the comments.
Or your aha moments,
Right.
like just hearing different perspectives and like, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. Those are the things that we want to bring to light, and we would love to be able to share with everyone else, because then it starts to snowball, right? And then other people have aha moments. And at the end of the day, for me, like sunshine and daisies over here. I just want everybody to succeed, I want everybody to be happy and just like do all the things they're supposed to do.
I mean, I want that too.
She's a little darker.
Totally. Because when you said sunshine and daisies, I was like,
do you prefer
snakes?
Glitter?
No, snakes. I have this beautiful snake on my leg, but that's transformation, right? Snakes and
I have a glitter bomb. Can I get a glitter bomb gun thing?
I mean, I would definitely walk around.
Then I have to clean it up.
Yeah, I would just roll around like a pig in glitter.
Okay. At some point, we're gonna have a glitter confetti cannon, just for funsies. And then you're gonna hear me bitch for weeks about how there's glitter all over my house.
And I'll still be coming here with glitter.
That's true.
Because it won't. We're digressing.
Okay. Anyways, so welcome to the Thunderdome. Welcome to our shit show. Quantum Coffee. And yeah.
I think it's going to be great. Listen, we're going to talk about fear, I think, next.
I'm a little scared. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Thanks for joining us on episode 1 of this Quantum Coffee podcast.
Later.
Shut up. Do the thing. Okay, it's not doing